Hey everyone, I'm Adam Sweet from Soul Astrology, and today we have edition number 13 of the Anonymous Birth Charts. This is a series in which I do mini bite-sized readings based on charts and questions submitted by you all. Let me go ahead and share the chart that we're going to take a look at for today. And the question that was submitted alongside this chart says, I recently realized that I've run from or been subconsciously scared of deep commitment and now have healed some things and desire that for my life. Any time frame and any details surrounding it, if the chart shows, would be fantastic. All right, let's go ahead and check that out. The first thing I like to do is just ground myself in the natal chart. And I do that by looking at the rising sign, which we have Scorpio rising. And we have the ruler of Scorpio, Mars, in its own domicile in the first house, conjunct within 3 degrees of the ascendant degree. So this is a very powerful first house we have here. This native, I'm sure, and I mean this in the most respectful way, must be a force to be reckoned with. Also, we have a stellium in the 9th house with the sun in its own joy in the 9th house. And this native was born under a balsamic moon. So a lot of transformation imbued throughout this chart. And it sounds like the native has done a lot of healing in their life and is now willing to step in, or not willing to, but is looking to step into a committed relationship. Let's go ahead and look at where we might see that. So then what I like to do is pull up the transits. So here are the current transits. And to me, I think that this is so beautiful, and this is almost like the astrological gods winking at us right now, is that we have Venus, the planet that naturally signifies love, harmony, and relationships, is currently transiting this native's first house. And as I'm recording this, it is sitting right, it's separating from, but it's sitting right on their ascendant ruler, Mars, and just separating from that ascendant degree. So to me, you can look at this as God, the universe, the astrological gods is kind of winking at us here. This is like the cosmic giggle is ever present. And this is what I love about astrology is somebody sends in a question like this. I just received this question a couple days ago. So when I first received this question, Venus would have been sitting literally right on their ascendant ruler, their Mars. But you get a question like this, and you see that the planet that signifies the question, Venus, is sitting right on their ascendant ruler. And to me, that says two things. It says, one, the native is thinking about relationships, love, and harmony because Venus is on their ascendant. And then it says to me, too, that the native is tapped into their own intuition here because they are saying, yes, I want to move into a committed relationship. And what do we see? We see Venus transiting that first house, signifying that this is a good time to move into a committed relationship if one that is appropriate finds its way into your life. Now, the other thing that's so beautiful about this, besides that Venus, is we have a powerful new moon in Scorpio forming as I'm recording this in the native's first house. Now, new moons are of the nature of new beginnings, is just the simplest way to think about them. And this new moon is going to be co-present or conjunct with a Mercury at the anaretic degree and opposing Uranus at the anaretic degree. So this is a extremely potent moment and one that I think is showing the transformation that will move forward in this native's life over the next several years around relationships. It's like an omen, you could say. Now, I think the next thing that I want to do is go back to the birth chart, and there is an ancient Hellenistic timing technique called annual profections that is very reliable. It's probably the easiest timing technique to use, and we will use it here today to show another piece of testimony for relationships being prominent in this native's coming years. So annual perfections work like this. When the native is first born, it is 0, then 1, 2, 3, etc. You go around the birth chart, and every time you come back to the first house, it is 12. So 12 years old, 24, 36, etc., etc. Now, this native is currently 41 years old. So we go 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41. So this native right now is in a sixth house perfection year. Now, next year, when they turn 42, they will be moving into a seventh house perfection year. Now, the seventh house is the house that signifies our closest relationships, love, marriage, our spouse, boyfriends, girlfriends. Those are all found here in that seventh house. So in June 27th of 2026, when the native turns 42, they will be moving into that seventh house perfection year, thus activating topics of relationships, love, harmony, all of those beautiful things that the seventh house represents comes into a prominent feature in their life. And we have Taurus is the sign occupying that seventh house, and Venus rules that seventh house as well. So I just love all those significations for this native for a potential blossoming of a new relationship coming into their life. Now, what I want to do really fast here is I'm going to stop sharing this screen, and I want to bring up Zodiacal Releasing, because you all know me by now. I love my Zodiacal Releasing charts. And sorry, this is taking a moment here. I'm just trying to get it pulled up. There we go. Okay. It was hiding. It was hiding from me. So, what we can do with Zodiacal Releasing is also look for houses, signs, and planets that will be activated around this time period for the native. And when I look at this Zodiacal Releasing, this is releasing from the lot of spirit now. We can see that on a level 2 time period, next year, March 19th of 2026, they will be moving into a first house perfection year. Now, the first house is the house that represents the native themselves, but it is part of that first seventh house axis, the native others. And now, if we go to releasing from the lot of fortune, we can see that also next year, or actually coming up just tomorrow, which is another just crazy thing about doing this reading right now for this anonymous native, is that tomorrow the native, November 19th, 2025, literally moves into a level 2 Taurus period. And you remember where Taurus is, that's the sign that occupies that seventh house. So they move into a level 2 period surrounding relationships. So we have basically the seventh house is starting to be activated now through Zodiacal Releasing, and it is going to be activated next June through annual perfections. And then next year, we have the first house activated through Zodiacal Releasing as well. So we have that first seventh house axis activated, as well as, I guess you could call it, a double activation of that seventh house. So I hope that that brings some reassurance to this native that, yes, you are on the right path. You say you have healed some things and now are looking for deep commitment in your life. I would say absolutely, that is in the cards coming up. But like the ancient astrologers said, life is like a moving chessboard. So you have certain moves that you can make, but you still have to go out there and make those moves, right? It's like anything in life. I wouldn't expect a relationship to fall into your lap if you're just, never going out or never putting yourself in a position to meet anybody. Obviously, that's common sense, but I'm just saying that because I think it's an important thing to say that these transits, these annual perfections, these timing techniques, they do want to find a way to express, and they will find a way to express, and to have them express the way that you want to have them express, which is through a deeply committed relationship coming to your life, you'll have to put yourself in the position to have that happen. Life is magical and mysterious, and you don't need to do that in a weird, desperate way. But I'm sure you will be very pleased and very surprised to see how it all shakes down. And please let us know. It's all anonymous, but it would be wonderful to hear from you and see what happens in the coming years. So we wish you all the best. Thanks for watching, everybody. And if you are interested in having a birth chart reading like the one you saw here today, it's always free. You just send me a question with your birth data to adam@soulastrology.com, and we'll go ahead and take a look at it. Okay, thanks again, everybody. Appreciate you. Bye.